Hi everyone, and welcome back to Photechvideo. Imagine having an absolute powerhouse of a tech gadget, something that promises to completely change how you watch movies, review photos, and even get work done on the go. You buy it, you unpack it, and you are so excited to try it out. But then you put it on, and instead of the massive, beautiful virtual screen which was promised, you see a tiny, blurry, off-center mess that cuts off at the top and at the bottom. Would you keep using it, or would you throw it right back in the box and demand a refund? Well, 4 months ago, I took the gamble and bought the RayNeo Air 4 Pro AR glasses. And not just any version. I bought the Chinese import version because I just couldn't wait for the delayed global release. I've put the RayNeo Air 4 Pro glasses through their paces every single day for the last 120 days. At home, in hotel rooms, on planes, and even in busy cafes. In today's video, I'm going to give you my honest, unsponsored, real-world review after using them every day for 4 months. No marketing fluff, no scripted points paid for by a brand, and no simulated images or fake floating screens. And just to confirm, this video is not sponsored. I bought the RayNeo Air 4 Pro with my own hard-earned money. I'm going to tell you what it's like to live with these AR glasses daily, why that initial cut-off blurry screen issue happens, and exactly how to fix it, and the crucial audio setting that you need to know if you don't want to annoy your partner in bed or the person sitting next to you. Plus, stick around till the end because I'm going to share with you a couple of unexpected, highly annoying design flaws and the cheap, simple accessory that I needed to buy to make these truly usable for long travel days. Before we dive into the details, I want to ask you a quick question. Have you ever tried AR glasses, or are you still sitting on the fence trying to work out whether they are actually worth the money or not? Let me know in the comments right now. So let's clear up the first big question that you might have. What was it like buying the Chinese version instead of waiting for the official global release? Honestly, if you're worried about compatibility or language barriers, don't. The only real difference I can see between the two is a small part of the user interface. A few terms here and there are in Chinese, but the rest of the text, letters and options are in English. It didn't hinder my setup at all, and several viewers have told me that if I flash update the new global software, then that will convert the user interface menu into 100% English, or the language which I want. From the second I plugged them into my Google Pixel 8, they worked instantly. It's pure plug and play. But I'm curious, would you ever risk buying a Chinese import version of a new tech gadget just to get it a few weeks or days or months earlier? Or do you always prefer to wait for the official local release? When you first pick up the RayNeo Air 4 Pro, you notice that they are entirely made of plastic. Now, for some people, the word plastic immediately screams cheap. But after 4 months of continuously using them every day, tossing them into bags and traveling with them, and putting them on and taking them off constantly, I can tell you that this is a highly durable premium plastic. There isn't a single scratch on them, and nothing has loosened or broken. The build quality has genuinely exceeded my expectations. They look and feel just as good as they did on day one. Now let's talk about the main event, the image quality. When everything is set up right, the visual experience is exceptional. You get a massive, crisp virtual screen projected right in front of your eyes. It's brilliant for watching video content and incredibly useful for reviewing my photos when I'm away from my laptop. However, if you looked up reviews for these glasses, or even read some of the comments in my comment section to my videos, you've probably seen people complaining that they can't see the full screen, that the image looks way too small, or that the edges are completely cut off. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I first unboxed them and put them on, I had exactly the same issue. Here's the truth. It all comes down to physical adjustment and your source device. First, you have to realize that everybody's face structure and size is different. To fix the blurry edges and the cutoff view, you have to actively adjust the nose clip, tweak the temple angles, and gently bend the rubber ear sections of the frames. It does take a bit of trial and error to find the sweet spot on your nose, but once you find that correct position, the screen aligns perfectly and opens up into that massive display. Second, if your screen looks like a miniature box instead of the enormous screen that you were expecting, that is usually a setting issue on your source device and is not a fault of the glasses themselves. And really importantly, there's another factor which dictates the image quality that you're going to see on your RayNeo Air 4 Pro. And this is a mistake that I see a lot of people comment on. The quality of the image projected into your RayNeo Air 4 Pro AR glasses can only ever be as good as the video quality signal being pushed from the source device, be it your phone, a mini spatial computer, or even your laptop. For example, if you're watching videos on YouTube on a weak mobile internet connection, YouTube will often default to 480p, for example, to save bandwidth. If your phone is outputting 480p in your RayNeo Air 4 Pro glasses, you're going to see a blurry, low-res image. It's not the glasses failing, it's the source material. Switch that YouTube setting manually to 1080p and suddenly everything becomes tag sharp. Speaking of sharpness, as you can see, I wear glasses. I have pretty strong myopia, astigmatism, and I also need reading glasses. If I wear these AR glasses without any prescription correction, everything is just a giant unusable blur. One of my favorite features of the RayNeo Air 4 Pro is that they support prescription lens inserts. They attach directly to the nose clip, and you can actually slide the clip in or out to perfectly customize the distance between the prescription lens and your eyes. With the prescription lens insert installed, the virtual screen becomes incredibly sharp and perfectly clear for me. If you struggle with your vision like I do, this is an absolute game changer. Moving on to sound quality. RayNeo partnered with Bang & Olufsen to engineer and tune the speakers built into the temples of these glasses. And honestly, the sound is fantastic. But the real killer feature here is something called Whisper mode, which you can toggle in the settings. This mode uses acoustic phase cancellation to dramatically reduce sound leakage. To give you a real-world example, I use these glasses every night in bed while lying next to my partner, and she has never once complained about hearing a peep from my RayNeo Air 4 Pros. The volume controls are conveniently located on the bottom of the temples, and for a normal quiet environment, the built-in speakers are more than loud enough. That being said, they do have their limits. If you're sitting in a busy, bustling cafe or flying on a loud aeroplane, the built-in speakers won't quite cut through the ambient noise. In those situations, you'll definitely want to connect a pair of wireless Bluetooth earbuds directly to your source device. It's a logical limitation, but definitely something to keep in mind for your travels. One of my favorite design features is that the RayNeo Air 4 Pro does not have a built-in battery. That means that the glasses themselves are extremely lightweight, and you never have to worry about charging yet another device. They run completely off the power of the device that you plug into them. In my case, whether that's my Pixel 8 phone or my INAIR Pod spatial computer. But this introduces a classic tech dilemma. What happens when your phone battery starts running low when you're in the middle of watching a movie? To solve this, I picked up a brilliant little adapter. It plugs into the USB-C port of my phone or my spatial computer, and it splits into two ports. One port handles power delivery from an external battery or a USB-C charger, and the other sends the video signal directly to the glasses. This cheap little accessory is a lifesaver because it means I can have unlimited, continuous runtime on long flights or train rides without ever draining my phone. And here's a little bonus tip for you. When you plug the RayNeo Air 4 Pro USB-C cable into your phone, it's going to mirror your phone's screen. And your screen will stay on, but you don't need to look at your screen. So you can go into your settings and reduce the brightness to 0. Like this, it will make your battery last longer. So, 4 months in, it sounds like smooth sailing, right? Well, not entirely. While I absolutely love these glasses, they are definitely not perfect. And there are a couple of negative points that we need to talk about. First, even though the glasses are very light, after 2 or 3 hours of continuous use, you really start to notice a strain on your right ear. Because the heavy USB-C cable connects directly to the right temple, it creates an uneven weight distribution that pulls down on that side. If you're lying down flat in bed, you won't notice it. But if you're sitting upright at a desk or on a plane, it does become uncomfortable after a while. Second, if you're using them on a warm day, your skin naturally becomes oily, shiny, and a bit slippery. Because of the weight distribution, the glasses can slowly slide down your face. When that happens, you need to place your finger in the middle at the top of the frame and give them a firm push against your face to force the nose clip to regain its grip. And finally, we have to talk about the carry case. The case that came in my box is made of a felt-like material. For some reason, this material acts as an absolute dust magnet. Even if I keep it in a perfectly clean drawer, it constantly looks dirty and covered in lint, which just isn't a premium look. So, RayNeo, if you're listening out there, for the next version, try to balance out the weight distribution better, especially on the right-hand side with the USB-C cable, and make the overall frame a tiny bit lighter. And please give us a nice faux leather or hard shell case instead of this dust-attracting felt. When I look back over the last 4 months, my final impressions are overwhelmingly positive. The RayNeo Air 4 Pro certainly wasn't cheap, but it didn't cost the earth either. For my first venture into the world of augmented reality glasses, I'm incredibly happy with my investment. They go with me absolutely everywhere. I use them every single day, and they have genuinely changed the way I consume content and review my visual work on the go. This was my first pair of AR glasses, but it certainly won't be my last. I'm completely hooked on this technology now, and I'll be keeping a very close eye on future generations and competing brands to see how this space evolves. If you found this video interesting and want to see how these glasses perform with the INAIR Pod spatial computer, make sure to click on the video link up here where I test them out. Many thanks for watching, and if this honest review helped you out, please hit the like button and share, and subscribe to my channel for more tech and photography related content. You'll find affiliate links to the RayNeo Air 4 Pro, as well as other gear used in the making of this video, including this little USB-C adapter, in the description section down below. If you do purchase something through one of my affiliate links, the price to you will be the same, and I will receive a small commission which will help me to continue creating content for you here on my channel. So until the next time, this is Andy at Photechvideo signing off. Take care and be safe, and see you in these next videos.